Hello everybody and welcome to Brony FanFics 2 days in a row. Well, getting back into it I guess. Today, The True Meaning of Easter by Overlord-Flinx. This one involves Chrysalis and Discord and Little Pip, the little pirate British kid from the Halloween episode. Anyway, let's get into it. Easter. A time of the year for little fillies and colts to trot about and look for little eggs hidden in secret little spots so they can eat little chocolate candies and get little tummy aches. After which they return home and search through pantries, bathrooms, cupboards, under beds and sometimes the wine cabinet because Cottontail is a cheating rodent that knows your parents said to never go in there, thus making it the best place for him to hide the basket. Thus leads to the basket in detail. The object of all the little one's Easter delights. No, the toys in search are not as grand as the heartwarming, and the candy isn't as high in collection as Nightmare Night, but it is still theirs, and it's still something lovely, tied up nicely with a bright bow, and stuffed with colourful candies wrapped up in festive little foils. The basket in the centre of the holiday itself. But more often than not, we forget the true meaning of Easter. But the true heart of the entire event and all the truth and emotion put to the bricks of the holiday. While the little ponies frolic and play with their Easter gifts and candy, in truth, the truest one who revels in the holiday's delights is none other than Princess Celestia. Why? Because she is the real person behind Easter, and the oppression it stands for. At least, that's the story you would get if you asked Chrysalis. But who would ever ask her? Mum? Captain? Little Pipsqueak looked between his two guardians and as they all took rest at the family table. Discord lowered a mug he had been sipping the matter from and looked down to his little colt charge. Yes, Pipsopotamus? Chrysalis looked across the table with a distaste as she shook her head looking at Discord. I was wondering. Pip looked over the table, seeing what the changelings passed off as Easter decorations. Muted skulls with coloured eggs placed with the sockets, shreddings of wilted leaves, the usual changeling decor. What's the meaning of Easter? Hush, an absolute hush swept it over the table, the room, perhaps the entire kingdom. The only motion now came from Queen Chrysalis as she let the fork her magic was holding clang against the face of the table, her face dropping to a dismal attention. Discord, on the other hand, flashed out of the room without a word or motion, already seeing the fiery Chrysalis starting. Easter, my dear, sweet ward? I will tell you what Easter is most certainly about. Chrysalis rose from the table and fluttered her wings as she walked around to the other side of the dining hall. In that moment Pip went through two actions. The action of watching his mother as she readied to teach him, and the action of mentally measuring how far the door was from where he was sitting. Truly, the mentality born from two opposing parental figures. However, his attention snapped into focus when he saw Chrysalis's wings snap against her form. Easter, you believe, is about forgiveness and love on the deepest level once you look past the eggs and confections. But that is not the case. Would you like to guess what it is truly about? Is it about oppression? Okay. It is about how the holy will always prevail over the unholy. This is what the young are to learn from the very beginning. That itself is the act of cruelty imparted by the light. It all serves as a spiteful reminder set by Celestia to keep the people down. Chrysalis stomped her hoof and snarled. The eggs? A metaphor for how we must search out the odd in any bunch and bring them for persecution. The candies? An allegory for how the pretty and colourful are filled with more splendour than all else. All of the holidays is a set of hidden messages to turn the next generation against my sort of people. Need you any more proof? Then ask yourself this. Suddenly Chrysalis swung around and pointed at Pip with a commanding hoof. "Why is Peter Cottontail white and Irontail a dark shade?" Pip wanted to answer, but with the stunned, shuddering face stuck to him, he made no answer except for a meek squeak. Chrysalis accepted his defeat and threw her nose up, leaving the entirety of the dining hall with her truth now shared. Alone, Pip sat in his chair, both confused with more questions than he had before he asked about the meaning of Easter. A sigh left the young colt as he slumped out of his chair and got ready to leave. That was when Discord flashed back into his chair and relieved a smirk. Oh, with a relieved smirk. "Ooh, that was a close one. Almost had to listen to insanity." He looked down to Pip and picked him up into his taloned hand. "Now, let me tell you what Easter is about." Pip looked less than excited after his last telling of the holiday, but he nodded and offered an ear. "This is what Easter is about, kiddo. To a lot, it cannot be true. Ponies and all sorts suffer and die for no reason. Your time of death has the final say. That's why it's crazy to even have the idea that one pony can change the entire world. Because, why? Sorrow beats joy, hate beats love. Friendship and unity makes you weak. And that's why I can't believe any pony or creature can change themselves. And the truth is hard to believe. A new chance can't happen. So how can anyone look at me and say that one shadow coming to light makes new hope? What you need to understand is friendship is magic is a complete lie. Cash is king, and the guy that passes away with the most winnings is the gifted one. So I tell you now what I want you to tell your kids someday. What you see in this world is all you ever will, and you won't get to have it all. If you believe in mystery in this world, you're a fool, and there's nothing special about you or any pony else. We just can't take these silly beliefs that any one pony can bring a little hope to the broken, give light to the darkened, and save a wicked soul." Discord smiled to Pip for a moment as he spoke the words with full belief. Pip looked back at Discord with tear-filled eyes, trying not to let it out. However, Discord put a finger to the young pony's lips and gave a warm smirk. "But what if 6 ponies can give us a new road? Well, then I guess any one pony can bring a little hope to the broken, give light to the darkened, and save a wicked soul. We just can't take these silly beliefs. There's nothing special about you or any pony else. If you believe in mystery in this world, you're a fool, and what you see..." It just seems... Hang on. What you need to understand the shadow coming alignment... No, just... You're a fool, and what you see in this world is what you will get. Ever will have, and you won't get to have it all. So I tell you now what I want you to tell your kids someday. The guy who passes away with the most winnings is the gifted one, and cash is king is a complete lie. Friendship is magic. What you need to understand is one shadow coming to light makes new hope. So how can anyone look at me and say that that a new chance can't happen, and the truth is hard to believe? Any pony or creature can change themselves. That's why I can't believe friendship and unity makes you weak. Hate beats love, sorrow beats joy. Why? Because that one pony can change the entire world. That's why it's crazy to even have the idea your time of death has the final say. Ponies and all sorts suffer and die for no reason. To a lot it cannot be true. This is what Easter is about, kiddo. Pip's sorrow drained from him and he sprang up to his hoofs and around Discord's neck. "Happy Easter, Dad!" Happy Easter, son. Just don't try and tell that to anyone else. No one really has time to put the whole wording together. And that was the true meaning of Easter. I just found it funny that Chrysalis in Discord with Little Pip's dad. I thought that was brilliant. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And yeah, I don't really have much more to say on the subject. Thank you for listening. Keep on spreading the magic of friendship, and I'll see you next time.